conversation with me in the chat box, so it'll be great if you'll just like reply. Hi Vikas, and yes, Ryan, we are glad that you are here again. What about Sagar? Hey there. And Vikas, could you let me know how you're doing? And same goes for Ryan. How are you guys doing? Tell me quickly. I think I'll just shift the camera. Yeah. I would like to know how you all are doing. And Pushpak, I see this is also like, I think Pushpak has been through a lot of masterclasses with us, right, Pushpak? So hey there. And Vikas, I'm glad that you're doing okay. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. Vikas, so quickly, since this is like the first time you've joined our masterclasses, could you let me know which grade you're in, or whether you've started preparing for SCTs, or are you looking forward to give any attempt of SCTs? And hey, Ankit, this is also the second time you joined Masterclass. I'm doing good, quite happy day. How are you? Rihanna, I'm glad that you're having a happy day. This makes me happy too. And I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. And Vikas is saying that you've just started 10th standard. All right, so Vikas, I think this is the perfect time to start preparing for SCTs, isn't it? Like, so SCT math portion is almost from like your 10th and 11th syllabus. So I think the best way to start is in 10th standard. Plus the scores are valid for like the next 5 years. So I would advise that you, yeah, ICSE, I understand for all boards, whether it be CBSE, ICSE or IGCSE, all the boards, almost the math portion of SCTs is from 10th and 11th standard. So, you know, it's like easier to go through the concepts and to understand them at once. So yeah. And plus the schools are valid for like 5 years. So the earlier you start, the better it is for you, because then you'll be able to focus on your profile building and extracurriculars. So that was my advice for you, Vikas. Now, could you let me know if you've, I think, started preparing for cities, or are you looking to prepare for cities? I'm sorry about that, guys. And Arsh Sachdeva has joined. Hi, Arsh. How are you doing? This is your first masterclass, I'm guessing. Okay. Looking forward to prepare for SCT. All right, Vika. So since, you know, we're having conversations about entrance exams and stuff, I would like to ask all of you, not just Vikas in particular, but all of you, list down your dream college for me. If I tell you to close your eyes real quick and imagine you starting your career somewhere, you know, it can be like as high as MIT, it can be as high as Harvard and Stanford. So let me know what your dream college is. And Vikas is saying Harvard. All right. Vikas, so obviously, since you've mentioned Harvard, Harvard is an Ivy League college. Yep. And Ryan is saying Stanford. I think, Ryan, I remember that about you. You had told me Stanford. Both of these colleges, Stanford and Harvard, ranked second and third respectively in global rankings of universities. They are the top colleges in the world. Also, you know, we get a lot of students that want to register in the top 10 colleges, and we've actually made students get admissions over there. So yeah, and Ankit is also saying MIT and Harvard. Yep, or first three. Let me ask which college ranks first. Rayan, it's Massachusetts Institute of Technology. MIT that Ankit has mentioned, it ranks first in the global rankings in the world. So yeah. So guys, since we're discussing about colleges, there's also like one thing that I would like to mention. So we get a lot of students who are looking to get, you know, admissions in the top 10 universities in the world. The most important point about these universities or getting into university is that you make sure which one of them supports your field better, right? So like, for example, MIT is amazing if you want to study coding, if you want to study CS, if you want to go into software designing. MIT is like the best college. But then if you look at Stanford, then Stanford is like a really good college for like science as well. You know, obviously these are top 3 colleges, so they're good at everything. But I'm talking in terms of like faculty, in terms of also correlating that with your field. So try thinking about your college as well as your field, and then try searching which college in the world is best for your field. Like if you want to study business, then of course Harvard is a, you know, it's the first school that, you know, comes to mind when you talk about business, right? So also think about that. Just a little something to think about, right? My interest in CS, I'm inclined towards CMU, MIT, and Stanford. Perfect, Ryan. These are perfect choices. CMU is also a really good college in terms of like, it is an infamous college, but also the faculty for CS is also good over there. So yeah. I think most of the generation today is like, moving towards coding, software designing. I mean, because the world is, going digital. So yeah, all the best, guys. All the best, Ryan. Meanwhile, I'll just like to say hi to everyone who's just joined. Lisha, Meshwa, Harsh, Balaji. Hi, guys. How are you all doing? Um, I'm guessing this is your first masterclass with us. So kindly type down like a hey for me in the chat box so I know you're here. Yes. Fine, ma'am. All right, Balaji. I am glad that you're doing well. What about the rest? What about Mishwa and Nisha? Where are the girls at? And Arsh as well. Hi, Arsh. Okay. So we'll be starting our masterclasses in about 8 minutes. But till then, do you have any questions regarding SETs, regarding applications, universities, stuff, entrance exams? There are a lot of entrance exams that people ask us about as well. Like SET is not the only entrance exam that you pursue or give. So like if there are any questions related to any other exam or any like other college or university, please go ahead and ask. And hey Lisha, hey Ash, hey Harsh, and hey, I'm doing well, Balaji. Thank you for asking. Thanks for the hello, guys. Vikas, you're asking which class to write SAT in. So as such, SAT does not have any eligibility criteria. You can write it in, whichever, at whatever age and whichever standard you want to pursue SAT at. But in our humble advice, we advise students to start giving SATs from 10th standard onwards, because it helps understand the concepts of SAT better because it's somewhat related to that syllabus. And also SAT scores are valid for the next 5 years. So even if you finish attempting your SAT and getting your dream scores at 10th, you'll still have like the next 5 years to think about other things. So in our opinion, start giving it from 10th. So by the time you all reach 11th, you'll be done with SAT. So then you can focus on, your boards and your 11th and 12th and extracurriculars. So yeah, that's the answer. Harsh is asking, how do I get fully funded scholarships? All right, Harsh, this is an amazing question. And to begin with, scholarships, there are different categories of scholarships, right? Now, if you're talking about fully funded scholarships, there are multiple ways. First is check out if the university you're applying to gives undergraduate scholarships. They might not be fully funded, but up till like 70 to 75%, they do fund scholarships, the college you're applying to for undergraduate studies. Second way to get fully funded scholarships is through SAT scores as well. There are a lot of scholarships in the market, that are based on your SAT scores. And that's also one of the reasons why SAT is so important to give, right? So you can try for that. Third, there are scholarships based on percentage, but they're not fully funded. So what I mean by that is like, let's say your 10th grade marks or your 12th grade marks, or they'll ask you to write an entrance exam for them. And then depending on your score or your percentage there, they'll like give you scholarships depending on that. So it cannot be fully funded, but it'll be like, 50% or 40% or 60%. That's how it is. Lisha, I am sorry, but the reason why we teach in English over here is because SAT is an English medium exam. And that's why it's easier to, explain children about it. Rihanna is asking, quick question, is it worth going to like a bit lower in college or doing it from say NIT or IIT here? Okay, look, the thing about abroad studies, Rihan, is that it gives you a different kind of exposure and opportunity than Indian universities give. But if you're comparing them, it's very different. Like if you go to US top 25, then you might, easily get a job that is like, at a much higher pay than Indian job placements. That's one benefit of studying abroad at abroad universities. Second, if you are getting into IIT in India is very well recognized, but only a few of the IITs are recognized globally. Not all IITs in India or not all NITs in India are globally recognized. So if you are studying at US top 25 to top 50 colleges, then that might help because they have global recognition. So it gets you easier job, gets you easier opportunities, gets you easier network. So if you are planning long term, then these are the advantages and these are the disadvantages. NIT and IIT, both of them are really good colleges. All of the branches are really good depending on the field and faculty. but they're not globally renowned. But US top 25 to 50 universities are globally renowned. So it depends on you. Balaji is asking, I hope I answered that, Ryan, for you. And Balaji is asking how to get scholarship. Like I mentioned, Balaji, first of all, go search it online. Search SET scholarships based on SET scores online, and you'll get like a list of them. Try applying for them. Try applying to the official websites. There are government scholarships as well, and there are university scholarships given by abroad universities. So try searching it online once. Try applying there and see how it goes. But the one advice I would give over here to everyone listening is that at LEAP, we also help you get scholarship and financial aid. So if you register with us at our counseling, we can also help provide the scholarship that you need, or we can also help get you the scholarships that you require. So that's one advantage of being with us. I was asking, can you please mention the IITs and IITs that are globally recognized? IIT Bombay is globally recognized. I think IIT Guwahati is also globally recognized. Other than these two, I'm not sure if IITs are globally recognized. In NITs, there are, okay, so there NITs are not globally recognized in the sense that MNCs do know about the existence of IIT and NIT, but in terms of how much weightage they hold, it differs from country to country. But like NIT Trichy comes on the top rank in terms of the campus and the faculty and how much it's famous for. But most of the NITs, they are recognized by MNCs, but they are not like infamous. So that's how the answer goes. Harsh is asking, what is financial aid? Right. So Harsh, basically, people who come from a little backward financial background. I wouldn't say backward for the lack of better word, but for those who have who need financial aid in terms of looking at the expense of abroad education, they require financial aid, and it's a little different from scholarship because financial aid is basically like a loan. Like scholarships are not like a loan. Scholarships are given to you, they're granted. But financial aid is like a loan. So that's the difference between a scholarship and a financial aid. And financial aid is mostly given by universities and received by those students who fulfill a required category of financial background. So I hope that I answered it correctly, Harsh, for you, and you understood. Ankit asking, please say something about letter of recommendation and who can write LOR for me. Ankit, letter of recommendation is important. It's a part of your profile, and it's given by your 11th and 12th teachers can be the one writing your LORs. B, your school counselors can be writing your LORs. C, I think LORs can be written by, if you're doing a volunteering work at an NGO, or you're doing an internship. So your boss or the supervisor for that volunteering can also write you an LOR. Balaji, I'll come back to you and your questions, but I think it's already 4, guys, and we would like to proceed with the master classes. But don't worry, all of the questions that you have will be answered by me at the end of the master class. So if you'll just wait. I think, ma'am, we can move to the introduction slide, please. Yes. Thank you. So welcome everyone to our verbal masterclass today. And today we have Parminder ma'am with us. She has more than a decade of experience in teaching SATs to students and has trained over 10,000 students in their pursuit of achieving their dream scores and have helped them reach their dream university. She has also given corporate training and has also trained a lot of professionals for the same. And she's also won awards for these corporate training and has designed content for the same. And Parminder ma'am over here today she's here to give you a glimpse of everything that we've been talking about and how well of a quality that we provide at LEAP. So with that, I welcome you, ma'am, and hope you all have an amazing time ahead. And yes, I'll give you
Hello, Ume.
Yes, ma'am. Hello. I think, ma'am, you can switch on the video now. I've given the permission.
Yeah, I can now. I can. Thank you so much. So I can see, you guys asking so enthusiastic questions, and you all have very valid questions, and Ume will come back to, reply those questions, but let's do a little bit of teaching also, because that's what we are here for. Okay. So I'll start with 3 sentences. Now, whatever is the topic of our, class today, you guys are going to figure that out. Okay, so look at these three sentences and tell me, what do you see wrong in these sentences? Okay, name that thing in the chat, or probably correct that thing, whatever you feel is wrong in the stated sentences. Let's start. Vikas says, okay, very good. Sanskriti says, expect should be a, accept should be a, accept. I cannot accept your gift. Wonderful, Sarah. Sanskars. So you guys have rightly figured out that the spelling of this accept is wrong. It should be ACCEPT, right? That should be the spelling. So, I mean, we can't mean something else and write a wrong spelling. So that's an error. Okay, let's start with the second one. Okay, Ryan, you say there should be changed to the. Okay. Sanskar says there should be changed to there with ERE. Okay, let's do this sentence first, then we will move on to the third one. What about other guys? Do you think that there should be changed to THERE, or there should be changed to the? What do you say? Sanskriti says there without an I. Payal says again there without an I. Rayan says it should be deleted. The book is on the table. Yeah, Rayan, we can do that. If you have an option like that, for example, change there with it, change there with, something else, then delete it. Suppose the other three do not fit, then you can choose an option delete. But here, since we have to correct the option, that's the, restricted job I have given you. So this there should be changed with this there. Okay. Let me tell you the difference between these. So a there without an I is for places, okay, and a there with an I is for people. So you can remember it like this: the there which has an I means I'm a person, right? Refer to yourself as a person. Then that means this is for people. And here we are trying to hint that the book is there on the table. The person is probably hinting that that's the place where the book is. So therefore we need a pronoun for the place. Okay, we need a word for the place. So THEI there will be wrong here. All right, I see some of you saying, Sanskriti says, the spelling of often is, wrong. Probably this guy has gone, literal on the pronunciation, because in often we don't pronounce, the T. T is silent. So this guy, while writing, has gone literal on the, pronunciation and has put two Fs, because we say often. So probably he or she must have felt that there are two Fs, So it has to be often. What else? Anything else? The last sentence is slightly harder, I'll say, from the other ones. It requires you to understand one word which is new here. Probably new for you, I'm not sure. Your answers will let me understand. Try. Dog barking can often signal imminent danger. What do they mean by imminent here? What sort of danger? If you're unsure, you can write serious danger. Okay, Sanskriti says serious danger. Tell me, what sort of danger are they trying to say? Hint through the use of the word imminent. Coming danger. Ankit says coming danger. Very good, right? So, Sanskriti, we don't have anything which shows that it's probably, a serious danger. Imminent. So, imminent, you guys may not know the meaning of imminent. Okay, imminent is a similar sounding, imminent is the word which has a similar sounding word called imminent. Now, I think the writer here wanted to say that the dog barking can often signal the, as Ankit said, the coming danger. Okay, the danger which can be seen, smelled, or felt. So for that, we should have used IMMINENT. Okay. Eminent is famous. Okay, so eminent personality, eminent actor. So there are the commonality between the errors here is spelling is wrong, in most of the places. And how are they giving you the same wrong spelling? Because these words are generally similar sounding words. Okay, so in actual language, there are multiple concepts around these words. For example, commonly confused words, diction, or similar homonyms. There are words like this. Okay, But when SAT tests you on this, then SAT names this topic as diction. Okay, so this is one of your grammar topics which is tested in our test SAT. So when SAT is testing you on diction, it is testing you on the right spelling and also the right meaning. For example, when we say eminent, we are not trying to say that the danger is, famous. We are trying to say the coming danger. Okay, the upcoming danger. So when such words are given to us, you will see, spellings changing, or probably the words are have similar meaning to each other. And then at that moment, SAT is testing you on the diction, okay, the commonly confused words in simpler language. All right. So the agenda for today will be, as we have just started, we looked at the various spelling, mistakes. So agenda will be, first we'll do some real life spelling mistakes, which have given us hilarious meaning or have made, horrendous mistakes. And then I'll take you to the real SAT questions. And at end, I'll give you some surprise. That surprise includes something, something knowledgeable, something that will, build your skill set to do better applications. As I see a lot of you were asking, Ume, about your application. So that will help you understand your applications better. Okay. So let's start with some real life spelling mistakes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the posters which are seen, the posters, newspaper, excerpts, which are seen making diction errors. Okay. These commonly confused word errors. So again, if you have to tell me, the wrong word here. Yes, Rayan, I have some questions, and then I am going to do questions only with you. Okay, not that you will ask and I'll answer. We are going to do SAT related questions. Tell me what's wrong here. Okay, Harsh. What about others? Please write down. It's a notice. Notice says, help us reduce crime. How? Lock your car or lose it. Okay, so they're saying help us, either you lock your car or you lose it. The error in this part now, I have seen multiple people making this error. So this thing I'm going to, the thing I'm going to teach you today, you should remember this, okay? Because never make this error. I've seen, famous people, editors, writers making such simple, silly mistakes. So very good. A lot of you, Harsh says, Rayan says, Payal says, the spelling of lose is wrong. There are many other also in the class. I would like to hear from all of you that do you think the spelling of lose is wrong? If you feel the spelling of lose is wrong, just tell me that, just write down LOOSE. I'll understand that you can identify that there's something wrong with the spelling. Okay. And I'll give you the correct spelling. I'll help you here. And when we're preparing for SAT, then we help you continuously and we, prepare you that you don't need any help. You can do it yourself. Okay, Sanskriti also says lose. Okay. So yes, guys, the spelling of lose is wrong here. So while they say lock your car or lose it, so they basically mean that somebody will come and steal it. If you lose it, you won't have it anymore. And if you want to say that you will lose it, then the spelling for that is LOSE. Okay, you lost, I will lose, Yeah, Ankit says lose is not tightly, something which is, for example, your pant goes loose, if you lose weight. Okay, if you, again, your pant goes loose if you lose weight. So there can be two spellings here. Can you understand? So your pant will go loose if you will lose weight. Okay, so if you lost weight, if I change the tense of this, when I lost weight, my pants got loose. Okay, so loose is, Ankit has rightly, given the word, not tightly. Okay, so we are not trying to say lock your car or leave it, not tightly on the road. Okay, so that's a funny mistake. Remember, L with double O will always be for something which is not tight. Okay, for your outfits, for something which you're trying to fit somewhere. Okay, and the other lose, LOSE, is for anything which you are, losing and you're not winning. Okay, that's the word. All right, let's go to one more such, sentence. A newspaper excerpt. Can you believe a newspaper can make such an error? So you can say if a newspaper can, then why can't I? But the unfortunate thing is that we are going to get marks for this. Okay, so yeah, you have to learn this if you want more marks. Okay, figure out what's wrong here. Simpler one than okay, I'm getting interesting answers. They are back. Okay, one, they are proper. Other, they are with an apostrophe. What else? Ash says they are. Vikas says they are. Wonderful. What about others? What about others? They are. Okay, good. They are. Excellent. So we can look at the picture and figure out. So it looks like some food van. So I think this heading is trying to say that after 60 years, these food vans are back, right? So after 60 years, they are back. Okay. So then there will not fit here because we are trying to make a proper sentence. We need a subject for the vans and we need a verb. So we have to say either this or this. The contracted version will also work. I think the writer here was trying to write down the contracted version and has made a mistake like this. Okay, that converted the contracted version to the word for the place. Okay, so if you say they are or if you say they are like this, both of them will be right. Don't just write this. That would be again bad mistake here. So there will not fit here. We need a subject and a verb. They are back. Okay, wonderful. Good job by all of you. Something similar, something on the similar lines of reasoning. Seat belts must be worn, doors must be shut. It's the law. Very quick answers. Wonderful, very quick answers. What about others? Excellent. Do others agree? Rudraksh is excellent. Rudraksh also agrees with this thing. It is. So, seat belts must be worn, doors must be shut. It's the law. Okay, when we say it's the law, then probably while speaking, it's and it sound very similar. You are not able to express the difference while you're speaking it. The reader, the listener will automatically understand what do you mean by, when you say it's. So, but when you are writing, if you make this mistake, if you omit this apostrophe, then it is the possession. Okay, so when you say it's law, first of all, it's the law would be wrong, without an apostrophe. If you say it's law, that means you're referring to something's law. For example, art's law, okay, science's law, or any concept's law. So then you're changing that concept with the pronoun it, and you are referring to the possession. For example, the taste of mangoes, okay, or the taste of the mango, its taste. So we will say without an apostrophe, its taste, because we are using the possessive form. But if you say mango is tasty, then you will say it is tasty. Okay, or you say it's tasty. So then also reader will read it the way it should have been read with an apostrophe. Okay, good job. There is no error in born, Balaji. Seat belts must be wear. If we say that, that's wrong. We need a third form of verb here. All right. So we need not change the form of the verb in this question, in this sentence. The last one and the most hilarious one. What I want here is not what is wrong. Can you tell me what is this writer trying to tell? I mean, what is his feeling? What is he trying to, convey here? Don't tell me whether, door is wrong, is wrong, this is wrong. Just tell me what is he trying, in your words, what is he trying to tell us? I'm giving you 20 seconds to type. The door is alarm. Sanskar says the door has an alarm. Okay. What about others? The door has a security alarm. The door is alarmed. Harsh, you have written the same sentence. Rayan says, I think he's trying to say that the door has an alarm in case anyone breaks it. Very good, right? So do you think this sentence, I mean, this meaning which you have figured out, that's conveyed through the sentence? Do you think the sentence is conveying that? Quite weakly. Not weakly, it's a funny sentence. Alarmed is when you are surprised. There is a sudden sense of danger and you're alarmed. Okay. If there's suddenly an earthquake, everyone will be alarmed, scared, and surprised at what has happened. So is the door alarmed? Why would a door be alarmed? I mean, what fear does a door have? A door is a non-living thing. Why would a door be alarmed? So the writer probably had a very good intention, a very clear intention that I want to tell the people that the door has an alarm. But he said the door is alarmed. Okay. So probably he thought I'm making a perfect sentence, but that's wrong. I think, yeah, Rayan and somebody else also wrote earlier, the door has an alarm. Okay. Or the door has a fitted alarm. Okay. Anything. I mean, we change it. The door has an alarm looks like a perfect sentence to me right now. So the door has an alarm conveys what the owner of this place or the person who's writing this is trying to convey. So you can see wrong words can change the meaning. Very good. The door is alarm enabled. Okay, the alarm enabled door. So touch cautiously, something like that. Okay, ahead. So can you see the words can change the meaning upside down? So you have to be cautious. And I have seen there are multiple questions, on vocab, such vocab in SAT. I mean, you do get one question in each passage, I would say, of writing and language. And not just that, in your reading comprehension also, they test you on contextual vocabulary. So they don't expect you to learn vocab, okay? They don't expect you to, start learning 3,000 words, 1,500 words. They just want you to understand the contextual meaning. For example, here you may not know or you may not remember what alarmed is, okay? Or what do they mean by alarm? But you understand the feeling. So any sentence that corrects, that, you would be able to figure that out if you follow the process of elimination. Okay. Now, let's try and see something similar, in the actual questions. But before that, I have just, given you a snapshot of how commonly confused words look like. Okay, so except something we did, it's something we did. Okay, some other thing, illicit, complement is a common spelling mistake made by people. Okay, so now what I'll do at the end of the session is I'll send you link of 2 websites from where you can actually practice or read these commonly confused words. But let's start with the real questions of SAT now. So diction-based questions on SAT, serious stuff. When they say diction-based, they're going to seriously test you on the meaning. Okay, you have to now be very cautious. Okay, probably no fun here. The real learning. All right. 10th question, 4 words. Now, underline. You keep it either satiated or you say fulfilled, complacent, sufficient. So I'll read the sentence for you. Greek yogurt is slightly lower in sugar and carbohydrates than conventional yogurt is. Also, because it is more concentrated, Greek yogurt contains slightly more protein per serving, thereby helping people stay dashed for longer periods of time. So stay, can I say full? By full means they have full stomach. They won't feel hungry. So stay full, we are trying to say, use a word which says that they won't be feeling hungry. All right, Ryan. Ryan says satiated. Which word can we eliminate here? Ankit says fulfilled. Which answer is definitely wrong? Sanskar says no change. Which word is definitely complacent is definitely wrong. Okay, complacent cannot fit in here. What do we mean by complacent? Complacent is when you're satisfied with yourself. You don't want to change anything. So we are not talking about that. Which other word is wrong here? Definitely wrong here. Sufficient. Okay. So now we have a choice between fulfilled and satiated. Okay, so you might not have heard the word satiated in your day-to-day, language, day-to-day affairs. Yes, Palak, you should try to focus. I'm happy that you're trying to focus. You will learn a lot, okay, if you focus. Okay, so we can't say fulfilled here. It doesn't help people stay fulfilled for longer. Fulfilled is when your desires are fulfilled. Okay, we are talking about hunger here. When you don't feel hungry, when your hunger is satiated, I'll use the word, then it helps people stay satiated for long periods. So therefore it has to be no change, not fulfilled. Okay, Ankit, it won't be fulfilled because, and Balaji, it won't be fulfilled because fulfilled is, you can't, I mean, when your hunger is when you're no more hungry, then you can't say I'm fulfilled. Okay, I'm fulfilled is when your desire, but in heart you're probably you're feeling good, you don't have any desires, then you can say fulfilled. All your desires are fulfilled, all your wishes are fulfilled. Okay, not hunger. All right. Okay, one more sentence. Go slow, okay, and try to see the minor change in the spelling. Okay, I think 1 or 2 years back, this word was in very common usage. You must have learned a lot of words, from COVID, from demonetization, actually, demonetization, which was the word that came during COVID, very common word, that when you have to stay at home, not come in contact with others. Which was that word? Can you write in the chat if any of you remember? Quarantine, right? So you've learned so much in these last 2-3 years. Okay, so I think this word was also a lot in use in 2019 when there came a bill which has to be passed, and they say any Indian of Hindu origin, if he or she is persecuted in the neighboring countries, will be given immediate visa to come back and citizenship. Okay, so persecuted is when somebody is caused to suffer, somebody is made to suffer. So when you persecute someone, you suffer. And are we trying to say eventually Tweed and his gang were suffered for a number of charges? Charges is, in what context do we use charges? Do you know the context of charges? There is a context in which we use charges. The word charges, there are charges on you. He or she is, I will not take the name because then you will understand the context. He or she is, has put these charges and has hired dash to fight dash. Tell me what it is. Can you understand the context? Churches. No. Something more logical. Crimes. Very good. Rayan says crime. Law. It's a law related word. Okay. When there are charges put on. Charges have two. Sanskar says charges have two meaning. Charges may have many meaning. But in this context, when there were dash with number of charges, so they were prosecuted on number of charges. Okay. They were prosecuted. So prosecuted and charges, both are law related words. They were not caused to suffer on number of charges. Okay. They were blamed on number of charges. They were accused of, number of charges. So they were accused on number of, blames that you have done this, you have done that, you have done this. So we want a word for that. So prosecuted is the word. I would say this question is easier one because if you know the meaning of persecuted, then you will be quickly able to understand that D is the answer. But sometimes it could be just the preposition also, that whether it will be prosecuted on, prosecuted at. I mean, they can give you confusing punctuation, prepositions also like that. Okay. So be cautious when you are doing such vocab based questions. They test you on idioms too. Okay. Great. Wonderful. Let's go on to the next, question. I hope it is easier than the previous one. I think it is easier than the previous one. So I want correct answers from all of you. Okay. I should have very quick answers in the chat and from all of you. The maximum answer, at least 15, please. This allowed UTC to retain an employee with a dash knowledge of her industry and years of valuable experience. Okay, I want answers. Hidden, okay? Some say hidden. Some say hidden. Okay, some say large. Some say deep. Spacious, nobody is picking. Little scared of that word. What is spacious? I don't know the meaning, so let me ignore that. Okay, now let me tell you, knowledge can be of any type. You can have hidden knowledge, enigmatic. You can have large knowledge, I would say, is wrong. Okay, that's not a correct way of using, the word. If you want to say somebody has a deep resource of knowledge, has huge knowledge, is an informal expression. SAT will never give you that. You should say deep knowledge. Okay, not large knowledge. So I'll eliminate large. Who will tell me the meaning of spacious? Sanskar says spacious means something that has space, so hidden maybe. So spacious knowledge is again, no relationship. So let's eliminate spacious also. Okay, so we eliminated that. Yeah, spacious. Ryan, I understand your feeling. Spacious is something that has more space. Okay. Okay, so in this context, are we trying to say that they are retaining the employees which have hidden knowledge and years of valuable experience, or deep knowledge? Is there anything which tells you that they're going for, the answer is deep. Okay, yeah, it is deep. Ariane, I'm going with your answer. It's nowhere tells us that they're going for, people who have hidden knowledge, which is not with anyone else. They're going for people who have years of valuable experience. And that is when you have years of valuable experience, that's deep knowledge. Okay, so answer has to be A. All right. Shall I go to the next question? Great. Okay. We are going to do 18th, question, not the 17th one. I have not given you. So since I've taken these questions from college board, resources, so I did not, touch the other questions. I've kept it the way it is. So you may have a 17th, question, checking on some other concept, which we have done for you, which we will do for you in the upcoming classes, but you go for 18th only. So a recent study comparing projected result of fare-free policies in different cities found this outlook to be dash. Okay. Quick answers from all of you. Okay. Rayan says D. Okay. Balaji says B. Sanskar says C. Okay. I am putting a wiggly in front of each option which you are choosing. Pretty upbeat. Looking too much on the bright side. Okay. Overly optimistic, Sarah. Fine. 5, 6 answers yet. More answers. I want more answers. Rayan, don't keep changing your answers. Stay on one answer. Be confident. Okay. Don't change what you believe in by others' opinion. Okay. Stay confident. But you said, Rayan, overly optimistic earlier. Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. Now, let me tell you something interesting. So when SAT is giving you such, way too sunny, pretty upbeat, okay, are these expressions casual or formal? Tell me, casual or formal? Casual, right? I was about to write causal. I also made a diction error. Okay, casual expressions. So remember, SAT will never ever give you a casual expression as a correct answer. So pretty upbeat is the word you will use when you're chatting with your friends, okay? When you're chatting with your probably colony friends, school friends, your family. Way too sunny is again, a casual expression. SAT will go for something which is very good, Ryan. I'll come on that. So SAT will go for something which is more, formal, can be expressed in a formal, way. And looking too much on the bright side in comparison to overly optimistic is a redundant expression, unnecessarily long, and we don't need so many words. overly optimistic can do the same job with just 2 words. Why shouldn't we go for that? Isn't it? So B is also out. All right. So in this question, we learned something new. So in the point in this question is, don't just go for, answers which you feel, they're better expressions, they're, cool expressions. So SAT, when it is checking you on diction or such, usage of words, it will also test you on whether that expression is formal expression, because this is formal English. They want you to learn formal English and be ready to use formal English when you go to your college. So be ready for that. All right.
I think, ma'am, I would like to just interrupt the class for a minute. If we could just move to the course details. So guys, I'm so sorry for interrupting all your questions. We'll get back to them in no time. But before that, tell me, how is it going? Are you enjoying this class? Are you learning? Is it helpful? Let me know in the chat box. Yeah, I understand you would. I'll let you all get back to it. Just a second of your attention over here, guys. So basically, this masterclass has been a glimpse of what quality do we provide and how do we do that. So let me take you up through what entails the Leap Scholars SAT program. So the first things first is 40 plus hours of live classes. So this is something that no one else in the market provides, is that we have 40 plus hours of live coaching and live interaction with all of our faculty and students, with 10,000 plus practice questions waiting for you all to be answered. So over here, like you're saying that no, you were so into the questions, well, you're going to have like 10,000 of them waiting for all of you. So I think you're excited for that. And one-on-one doubt solving. So that's so important, right? Like ma'am is continuously explaining the question, and meanwhile, if you're having any doubts, we always are there to help you solve those doubts, which is something that's very helpful and important in making sure that you do, keep on improving on your mistakes. The fourth point is personalized revision session. This is something that our faculty is very happy to provide. And that is before you step into that hall and give your attempt, we have personalized revision sessions with you where we brush up through all of the concepts of the entire syllabus of SAT. So you're very well prepared for the exam. The fifth point being live and personalized learning with experienced faculty. I think I just mentioned that in the previous slide as well, that, all of our classes are going to be live, and all of our faculty members have more than a decade of experience in teaching SATs. And coming to the sixth point is that 30 plus mock tests with detailed feedback by faculty. So what better way to prepare for your SATs than actually going through, real life mock tests, sitting through 3 hours and, 30 of them, right? So that's going to be ample for you all to actually get prepared for your SATs. And we're also going to take up detailed feedback where your faculty tracks your progress and makes sure that you do improve on your mistakes further. And lifetime recordings of all of the live classes. So let's just say that, you have given your August attempt and you're also applying for your October attempt, but then, your course with us has, been over. What do you do then? Well, you can obviously go back to all of these live classes, which are going to be recorded and posted on your student portal, every one of them, so you can brush up your concepts whenever you wish. And coming to the next slide, so this is like the end of our course. So this is just the course details of what we provide. We have 2 courses, 2 batches. First is the weekday batch, which is for 5 weeks starting on 5th of May. So I understand that today is 7th of May, but we have just gotten done with the orientation of the entire class. So you all can still register, still join with us, and our faculty will, get you up to speed. It's from Monday to Friday, 6 to 7:30 p.m. And we have a weekend batch for 8 weeks, which is starting on 14th of May, which is like, in a week. So register fast, guys. It's going to be on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays in the evening from 6 to 8:30, which is 2.5 hours. And on Sunday, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Rehan, you're asking when will the...
Let me interrupt. Rehan, you are giving such wonderful answers. Why this question? 8 weeks batch will end in 8 weeks. Count 8 weeks from 14th May. Why this question, Rehan?
Also for everyone who's taking or planning to take the August attempt, the 8 weeks batch will work wonders for all of you, because it's 8 weeks, right? So you'll be finishing up your course before your August attempt. And since it's on the weekend, it's not even gonna, get your schedule hectic. So for everyone who's planning to do the August attempt, I suggest that you all take up the weekend batch as soon as possible. Yeah. So having said that, there's a poll that I would like to launch. It's basically just asking you all, if you'll be interested or not. And for those who, seriously want to register right away, please give in your names in the chat box so that my team can take it up. And, we can have a conversation personally with you about the registration of the course. So I think I'll give you all 10 seconds to do the poll. It's hardly going to take like 1 second of your time to click on any option. Any of them, doesn't matter, guys. Also, if you all are, if you all want to register and you're interested in the course, please give your names in the chat box. Just type down your name and I'll, note them down. Okay, I see answers in the poll. Okay, only 5 of you have not given the poll yet. So like to those 5, you're just holding up the class. We'll not let you get back to your questions before you all. Prachi, you would like to join our course? Is that why you've written your name? Okay. If that is why, then I am noting down your name. Prachi, could you list down your entire name for me, please? If that's possible, it'll be easier to contact you. I'll wait.
Please fill in the poll. It takes, see, we are fine even if you say not interested. Just that we get to understand. If you're not interested, we won't, probably, force you. Yeah. So just quickly fill the poll. Yes. That will help us all.
Prachi, thank you so much for typing down your entire name. Our team will contact you today at the latest or tomorrow, and then you can join us. And thank you so much for giving your names. All right, so the poll results, still like 5 of you left. I'll give you all 5 seconds more. Hurry up, you all are smart kids, obviously, because you all are giving SATs, and then we'll get back to questions.
Yes.
Okay, I think we can continue with the class. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's go to one more question. 31st. So we are going to focus on this question. As the movement grew beyond Italy's border, today, okay, so that's extra information. This emphasis on pleasure dash criticism for being elitist. So it did what? It dashed criticism. Did it portray sanskar? Did it show criticism or did it get criticism? If I have to put in a word here, I'll say get criticism. And I'm putting a simpler word so that I can match it with something, similar. So yes, sanskar, it can't be portrayed. So let's eliminate portrait, okay? And portrait is very similar to picture. It did not picture criticism. When the movement grew, it got criticism for being elitist, for being, so people said that it's an elitist thing, don't do it. So it did not picture. Now sketched and drew. So I think this is a common expression. So you must be saying that I drew criticism for being bold in my school. I drew criticism for, doing my homework on time, because I was not popular among the other students who were not doing homework on the time. So you draw criticism, okay? When you get the criticism, when people come and criticize you for something, then you are drawing criticism. All right? Easier one again, I will say. So you will realize after doing some questions, once you would have done some classes and some questions, some practice, then you would start understanding that some questions are very scoring. You get them right, you make sure that your score is saved. Okay, there are some questions which are hard. So when there are some questions which are hard, and for that you may require some in-depth knowledge of grammar. For this you need contextual understanding. Okay, so rely on the given context. Palak, Ume will answer this question in a while when she'll start taking your questions answers after my presentation. So then she'll get back to you on this. All right, I think the last question, and I always say this in my last question, that I want all of you to get it right. Okay, you don't get it right, that's also fine, but I really I wish that you all get this right. And probably it's slightly tougher one this time. Rayan says D, Sanskriti says D, and wonderful speed. Good. Given those solutions as well as the many health benefits of the food, the advantages of Greek yogurt dash the drawbacks of its production. So the advantages of X dash the disadvantages of the X, right? Okay. So there is one answer which says outperform. There is one answer which says, okay, there are two answers which say outperform. There is one answer which says outdo. So defeat, you all agree, is out. Anybody who wants to give? Harsh says D. Okay, good. Good, good. Okay. Now, when do we use outperform? Okay. So if X outperform Y, so the advantage of yogurt outperform the drawbacks. Was there any fight between advantage and disadvantage? Ankit, Palak, was there any fight between these two? Or we are trying to say, for example, there are, let's say, some disadvantages of exercise, but there are multiple advantages. So will you say the advantages of exercise outperform the disadvantages? Tell me yes or no. Will you say that? Will that be right? No, na? Because outperform is when something was expected, but it outperformed. And that's what we are trying to say here. Okay. And the same is the problem with outdo. Okay. So outweigh is the right word. Outweigh the disadvantages. That means the advantages are probably more important, or advantages are more than the disadvantages. Okay, so this is one product which has more advantages and fewer disadvantages. So therefore outweigh is the right word. So whenever you want to use a word, make a comparison like this, now that you want to say that in some product, in some exercises, anything, the advantages are more than the disadvantages, you can say advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Don't confuse it with outperform. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful answers by all of you. I hope you understood the point of, these questions. Now, I'll take you to the surprise section. Okay. So do you want to know what I have prepared for you today? Shall I show you what I figured out for you today? Vikas says yes. Only Vikas wants to know. Star also wants to know. Ryan also wants to know. What about? Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So let's go. Okay. So I have not taken out any one thing, and I'm not going to talk about just that. I've taken out some fun facts for you. Okay. Some multiple things, because I have seen, students getting confused in multiple things, not paying attention to one part of their, profile, life, and just focusing on others. So I thought, why not talk about all those small things today? Okay. I'll start with something you all are a lot into. I'm sure there must be some who are not, or you must be, trying to restrict the usage, its usage also. But remember that social media activity can affect your college prospects. Okay. I've written negatively and positively both. So I have students, who are dancers. So they have their YouTube channel and they put their dancing, videos there, and they have, subscribers, and they multiple people watch their videos. So that goes into their profile, that see, they are into a social media platform and they have following. That's a positive effect. Okay. But you may know that these days there's a rise in the trolling. Okay. So if anybody has an aim of becoming a troller, so remember that, this can affect your profile. So in aggression, and just because, somebody is saying something you disagree with, don't go into bad trolling, and don't become, don't indulge into something which can affect your future prospects. Make the good use of social media. Use it so that it helps you in your long run. Whatever talent you have, use it to showcase that talent. Okay, that's it. Something which I think your parents must also be teaching you, that social media, restricted usage and intelligent usage. It should only have positive, prospects for you, no negative. All right. A second point, something serious. So multiple students from you must be in the 12th class, or some of you must have come in the 11th class. So your exams either are going on, or you may have exams, coming up. So second point says that top admission factors at every college is a student's school GPA. So can you believe that? You must be thinking a lot about getting up the highest possible score, the top score in SAT. But if that affects your school score, something more important than that, then how are you going to make up for, this thing? Rishika, this is for 12th and 10th. 11th they see, but 11th they don't, so you have a predictive scoring which they, make on this. Your school makes a predicted score on your, your performance in 10th and 11th. So universities look at those predicted scores. So if you have been a bright student getting continuously good scores, the university understands that you will probably do well in 12th also. And your school do not make, a wrong or exaggerated predictive scorecard until unless they are not sure. So Rishika, you are in 10th now. You have to work hard. You have to get a good score in 10th and you have to maintain that till 12th. University will be looking at your 10th, 11th, 12th, all three, and more focused on your 10th and 12th. Most on your 12th, then on your 10th and 11th. All right. So never put your school exams, your school subjects, at any second level. Okay. Your school exam, your school, this will stay with you always. After your graduation also, when you go for masters, you would not stop flaunting your school percentage in your resumes and CVs. Okay. All right. And another thing, there is no negative, no penalty for, guessing in your SAT or AP exams. Okay. So even if some questions are left, so today was SAT exam. So we did this thing with our students yesterday also, that we know that you love, attempting every question, but there is no negative scoring. Then why leave some questions? Okay. We shouldn't leave the question just like that. Since there is no negative scoring, you may be lucky. So mark something for the question which you could not do. Okay. And very interesting thing. Statistics say about 43% of all institutions' aid funds are merit based. What is merit? What do you understand by merit? It disconnects with something I was talking just, in the previous slide. So when they are going to, good marks, getting good ranking, your school, your GPA, that's merit, okay? Or then if they want to confirm that you are a meritorious student, then probably they'll see your SAT also. Okay. So it's your good marks in school. That's the first criteria. Then your good score in SAT. So you have to be consistent in both. Okay. So 43, approximately half of the scholarships will be based on merit. Okay. Merit in any. So the other half probably will base on need, or probably, your performance in extracurricular, or how your choice of the university, college, the area, all these things. But more than half, approximately half, not more than half, I'm sorry. Approximately half of the scholarships are based on merit. And even at the test optional schools, a strong SAT score can help students unlock the merit-based aid or scholarship. So we have been hearing, that some colleges went, I would say, it's now getting passed now. That's in 2020, some colleges went test optional, some universities went test optional. And then students started thinking that why should I write SAT? You wouldn't believe the students who had taken their SAT a year before in 2019 were at an advantageous position over the other students who were not able to write their SAT and followed and thought that probably going test optional means my profile will be seen the way it is. So a good SAT score or SAT score always helps you. Okay, so prepare intelligently for your SAT also, and don't ignore your school subject and your school your marks in the school subjects. The average financial aid award per student. So this is an average per student. So those students who are given the scholarship, this is average of each one of them. So you can take any X number. So suppose 1,000 students were given, out of the, let's say 5,000 students were given scholarships. Let's say out of 3,000, again 1,000 were given scholarship. So the average comes out to be 15,000, which is a good amount if you consider your total fees, whether it's 50,000, 40,000. If you go to a town or a city specifically, it could be 60,000, 70,000 also. So if average, if this is average, it could be higher also. Cities will always remain expensive in comparison to the other places which are towns, or I shouldn't say rural area, but the places which are not outside city, okay, outskirts. More than 3/4 of college applicants get into their first choice schools. So if you have an aim, if you have made a list that I want to go to these colleges, now those lists have to be verified with your counselor. The counselor will see the profile and will tell you whether you can go into these colleges or universities. Now, whatever is your list, okay, so 3/4 of the college applicants can actually get into their first choice schools. Okay, so your dreams will come true one day. The things you're dreaming today, your dream college, your dream university, will that there are 3/4 chances, okay, not 1% or 10% chance out of 100, 3/4 chances that you may get into, you will get into your dream college. Okay, so don't give up, don't lose hope, be there, keep practicing, keep working. These years are very important. Okay, so you must give your best to it. All right. Okay, I'll now over to you, Ume.
Yes.
You guys can ask your questions, and Ume will take all the questions you have related to your application. She'll explain you about our UG counseling, our counselors, etc.
Absolutely. Also, before we move further, there was a question, I think, by Vikas in the very beginning of the masterclass. So, Vikas, if you're still here, could you type down the question again for me? I think you'd written something about, okay, yeah, I found it. Like, yeah, sorry, Harsh had asked this question. Higher SET scores is enough to get admission in top universities. So, Harsh, look, to be very honest, your academics is only 50% of your profile, right? Ma'am explained how your SET scores can further help you. And obviously, it does help you get an edge over the competition that comes to the universities. But then it's not, SET scores is not the only thing that you need. You need, first of all, good GPA, like ma'am explained. And second of all, 50% of your profile is also going to be about your extracurriculars. It's also going to be about what you have done or what you have invested in to improve your leadership skills, to improve who you are as a person, to improve your character traits, your personality, all of that, like, joining clubs, doing sports, internships, volunteering. All of this also comes under whether or not you get an opportunity to get into the top universities. Specifically, if you're talking about the top 10 universities in the world, it requires a very good profile and a very high SET scores. For everyone who's aiming for, MIT, Harvard, Stanford, you will require a score of a 1500 plus to get there. So yeah, SET scores are important, but it's not, like you asked, is it enough? It's not just enough. There is a lot much that you have to do. So I think I answered that. Meanwhile, if you all have any other questions regarding anything at all, universities, applications, SETs, type it down in the question. And I'll get back to it after I explain the UG counseling course to all of you. So at LEAP, we don't just provide SET mentorship, but we also provide counseling, right? So, and in my advice, it's important because who better to guide you down a path through a destination who has already walked down that path, right? Who's already walked down that path. Sorry for all the grammatical mistakes, guys. Okay. So first things first, what do we provide at our UG counseling? First of all is profile building, right? That's what I've just been talking about with Harsh's question. Is that, at LEAP, we help you get external courses, not just related to academics, but courses you would like to pursue. That also helps you boost your profile. We can also help you get internships. We can help you, get volunteering support as well. If you want to do all of that, then at profile building at LEAP, we also help you go through all of that as well as get you all of that in detail as well. Second point, coming to college shortlisting, right? You all are at an age where you all are like, very fragile in terms of, which university you want to get into. You might have a dream, but is that how you prioritize your colleges and, where you want to reach? There's a lot much that goes into that. So I think college shortlisting is also very important. It helps you get an idea of, where you want to reach and how you want to go further with it. So our team helps you with that. SOP, LOR, and SEs. I think someone had asked about LORs as well. So at LEAP, we also help you with your LORs. We also help you with your SOP. So we give you an access to all of the SOPs written by, alumni from the top 10 universities in the world. And we also help you edit those SOP and essays, which is very important for college applications. Coming to the next 2 points is advisory on scholarship and financial guidance. I think I've mentioned this before in the starting of the masterclass as well, that we give advices on scholarships and financial aid, as well as help you get that financial aid and scholarships. We can, approach universities from your side to get that financial assistance if that's what you need. And the last point I think is very, very important is that visa assistance, right? So if you are trying to pursue undergraduate course studies abroad, you're going to require you're going to go through a procedure of visa interviews. So to help you prepare for those interviews, our team sits with you, gives you mock interviews. We also help you, collect all of your documentation as well as, make it sequential so that you don't face any problems when it comes to visa or immigration and passport. So I think that's about this slide. Coming to the next slide, and guys, I will come back to your questions. I see a lot of questions in the chat box. Just give me 1 more minute. Ma'am, could you move to the next slide, please?
Sure.
Yes. So, right, I talked about, counseling. Let's talk about counselors, right? So we have a panel of counselors, and one of them is Aryan. I would like to introduce her to you. She belongs to Harvard. She's a graduate of Harvard University herself. She's also graduated from Georgetown University, which again is, I think, ranked 7th position in the world. Georgetown is also an amazing university. She's also a board member of Harvard Alumni Entrepreneurs, and Aryan is one of the counselors that is there in the advising program. So I think she can help you achieve all of the dreams, specifically for those who actually want to get into Harvard, because she belongs from there. So coming to the next slide as well. Yes, so like I mentioned, we have a panel of mentors. So I would like to go through all of the universities our mentors have graduated from. So Princeton, Yale, Brown, first 3 Ivy League colleges. Our mentors are from these colleges. Our mentors are also have graduated from the Stanford University. I think a lot of you all have mentioned Stanford as well. It ranks 2nd in the world. And Purdue and University of California. And all of these universities literally are the top 5 universities in the world. So I think you understand our quality just by that. And coming to the next slide, which I think is the most important one, right? I've been talking so much about LEAP and about, who we are and stuff. Let's talk about where our students have reached through our help, right? Our counselors have helped our students, and our faculties helped our students get into Yale, get into Berkeley, University of Michigan, and Yale, by the way, is an Ivy League college. Cornell is also an Ivy League college. UC San Diego, UC Davis, New York University, Emory, Duke, Rice, Northwestern, Berkeley, University of Illinois. All of these colleges are the top 25 colleges in the world. And you understand that position, right? You understand how much competition it takes to get into these universities, and our counselors, and with the help of our faculty, we were able to get our students there. So all of you who are dreaming high, keep dreaming higher, and we'll get you there. And I think, yes, the last slide is the mentorship program. We have 3. First is the Ivy advising, specifically for those who want to get into Ivy Leagues like Harvard or Princeton or Yale. Second one is the global advising program that I just talked about. All of that comes under global advising and elite advising program. So everything I've just mentioned also is provided in the elite advising program. So you all can choose whichever suits you best. And with this, I think there is a poll that I would like to launch, and it's like a super easy one. It's basically asking you to rate the session, whether you liked it, whether it was informative, whether you enjoyed or not. And quickly getting back to the questions, guys. So Rayan, extracurricular at my school are non-existent. So how do I fill this gap in my profile? Rayan, join our counseling. I think that's the best advice I can give you. Look, to be very honest, at your age, getting volunteering work or getting internships is a little more difficult, right? It is difficult. At LEAP, we help you get all of that. It's a one doorstep solution. So why not just come to us rather than, go yourself and search? But if you want to go in search of extracurriculars, then I would suggest, do sports, do clubs if your school offers that, do a lot of like other courses that are not related to academics. So it also helps boost profile. Ankit is asking, how important are LORs? Ankit, LOR is a requirement. It's a compulsory requirement of college applications, if I'm not wrong. And they are, at some credit, they are important. Vikas, is IELTS required? Vikas, IELTS is also an entrance exam. And if you're applying for US or Canada, you do not require IELTS. But if you're applying for universities in United Kingdom or in Europe, then giving IELTS is a compulsory thing. So you'll have to give the IELTS exam if you're applying for UK universities. Then you should try attending Parminder ma'am session. Just kidding. Yes, I am attending those sessions and I'm learning as well. Parminder ma'am, please teach me. All right. So I'm not that bad though, am I? Okay. Coming to Harsh, what is SOP?
You are wonderful. You are wonderful.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Harsh, what is SOP? SOPs, in short, they are basically, to give you a brief, essays written about your personality or about who you are, and you have to submit them to the college. So SOP is basically an overall view of your life and your personality, and LOR stands for letter of recommendation. It's basically provided by your 11th and 12th teachers and your counselors and your supervisors. It's basically to give proof of how good you have been throughout your life, or like, how excellent you are at what you do. Palak, can I go to abroad for my undergraduate studies? Yes, Palak, absolutely. Why not? I mean, this is what we've been talking about the entire masterclass. You can absolutely pursue undergraduate studies in abroad. Whether or not it's a good choice for you, that's up to you, because there is a lot that comes with it, right? You have to look at the expenses, you have to look at the competition, you have to look at the entrance exam, you have to also look at opportunities the abroad universities provide you, and also how it helps you further in your career. So that's a personal choice. I can't comment on that. But yes, going abroad does have a certain advantage over, studying in India. Arshman, can you please share the slide with us? Arsh, not sure which one. Let me know in the chat box which one. Vikas, what is TOEFL exam? Vikas, TOEFL is also an entrance exam. If I am not wrong, I think most of the TOEFL syllabus is English. It's not an equational based exam, or it's not about science, physics, or chemistry. It's basically verbal. It's also an entrance exam. It's optional. You can give TOEFL if you want, but it's not compulsory. Is TOEFL or IELTS required for every Indian citizen, even though they've studied in an English medium school? Asta, before, around 3 years back, it was required as a compulsion, but now it's not. As far as our knowledge is concerned, TOEFL or IELTS, both of them are optional. You do not have to give them. 100% scholarship is difficult. Yes, Harsh, but it is achievable. It's not like impossible, because there are students who have gone to abroad universities with 100% scholarship. So why not? The slide which is being shared on screen. Arsh, you could just take a screenshot of this. Thanks for giving me clarity. You're most welcome. Palak, I have to go for UPSC. Rishika, I'm not sure how SET is going to help you. Like, okay, so UPSC is basically for Indians, right? It's an Indian citizen exam. But if you want to pursue a degree, and if you want to, have that degree hold a lot of value, then I would suggest that you do look into SETs and, start preparing for your undergraduate studies, either abroad, either India. That's your personal choice. Payal, do Cambridge students also need to give TOEFL or GRE? First of all, Payal, GRE is for post-graduation studies. It's not for undergraduate studies, if I am not wrong. And TOEFL, yes, since Cambridge is, located in the European region, you will have to give IELTS, not TOEFL. You'll have to give IELTS. IELTS is a compulsory exam. So, UK and Europe universities, but not TOEFL. Rishika says, yeah, I do understand what UPSC is. But yeah, Rishika, if you want to pursue undergraduate studies abroad, why not? Then you can come back, obviously, after taking your degree and, start studying for UPSC. All right, I think I answered all of the questions. Are there any other questions left? And most importantly, let me just type down the contact details of our team. If you all are interested in talking to our team further about the details, here is the contact detail. Also, if you want to give your names for either registering for the counseling program, any of these three that are mentioned on the slide, or if you want to join the SET Plus course, please type down your names in the chat box right now. I know I was writing together, but it went later. Rishika, I am not sure what you're talking about. Oh, okay. You're talking about civil service. All right. It's cool. Because where do I write SET exam? Because, okay, so first of all, go to the College Board website, register yourself for the SET, and since it's an offline exam, you'll have to choose a venue. So we advise that you choose a venue for SET exam that is near your location. Most of the SET exams in India are held at various centers. So look for which center is closest to your location, and then you'll have to reach that destination on the day of your exam. For IELTS or TOEFL, it's common to all universities for IELTS or TOEFL. Palak, if you're talking about UK and Europe, IELTS is compulsory for all universities. Every university, if you want admission in UK or Europe, IELTS is compulsory. I think that's what you're asking. Okay. Just a reminder, guys, I hope you all have given the poll. Yeah, most of you have. Thank you so much for that. And would any of you all like to register for our mentorship programs or our SET Plus course? Please type down your name right now in the chat box. And okay, so of course we're talking about LEAP, and Parminda ma'am is here through LEAP and stuff. but it really does help. As a person, all of us have experienced this. All of us have experienced at the stage you are at and how confusing it gets. And, how much pressure you're also under with all of these entrance exams and your school exams and your career and stuff. It is better to have someone to guide you through it. It's always better to have someone whose hand you can hold, who will make sure that you reach your destination. You can obviously take this path alone, but doing it alone comes with a lot of difficulties. It also, tests you in a lot of ways that, you might not be prepared for. So it's always better to, have guidance. So yeah, I'm not just talking about me, but I'm talking in general. Having guidance does help. And if you want, obviously, if you want guidance from us, you're more than welcome. Okay, since there are no questions, I think you can end the session here, guys, then. No questions. And you all don't want to give your names for the mentorship program or the counseling. If you do type in, I'll give you 10 seconds more for it. Okay. All right. So I think we can end the session here. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for giving your time to us. Hope you enjoyed. And please keep taking care of yourselves. See you all very soon in our next masterclasses or directly at our ICT class course or counseling. And yeah, have a wonderful evening ahead, guys.
Bye-bye to all of you. Thank